Come on in. Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. I am so excited to meet with you today. Today we're broadcasting live from the Broadmoor, the 2026 dealer show, and we are here with Newmar with all of their new products. And when I say new products, this is the debut of our long-awaited 2026 Summit Aire. So as usual, I like to start my videos from the inside out. If it looks like I might be inside of a London Aire, please note that this is really very similar. This is the sister to the London Aire. The big difference, of course, is that this coach is built on the Cascadia P4 126 chassis, boasting 600 horsepower, 1,850 foot-pounds of torque, and man, oh man, you want to talk about a Super C? This is it. This coach is second to none. Long awaited. We have been looking for something that would come up and replace the loved icon that left a few years back in 2023 from Renegade. And here you have it. And I have to tell you, they've knocked this one out of the park. Look at this beautiful full tile surround, the linear drain, all of the dark black faucets. This beautiful new chestnut wood interior in the high gloss is pictured over here. And one of the things I really want to bring into your attention here is this is a really nice roomy shower, even for a big guy. You've got your body wash, your conditioner, and your shampoo all here on the wall. You've got your fantastic fan right here above as well. And then unusually, we don't typically see a skylight in a shower like this, but it's so nice to have a little extra daylight in this coach because of course this coach is a very different execution. This is a coach that's made for somebody who may be doing a little more trackside camping. Maybe you'll be doing some of your equestrian type of camping where you've got, your horse trailers. Maybe you've got one of the custom built ATCs that is available now through Newmar. But when you're in this coach, as you can see, you get all of the traditional luxury that you're used to seeing. So for instance, the in-mirror lighting, the vessel sink, this beautiful finish. You've got outlets very conveniently located on the right-hand side of the countertop. And then to boast even more, take a look at all of this additional storage they've been able to fit into this coach. So not only do you have storage up top, but down below that cover, you've got another great place to be able to keep things that maybe you want to keep out of sight. I'm going to go ahead and pop past to Avon and just open these beautiful medicine cabinets for us. As you would expect, carpet-lined, solid maple cabinetry, a beautiful backsplash, all the inlighting that you're looking for, tons of drawer space down here. So if you're looking to keep maybe some underwear, as well as all your toothbrushes, toothpaste, maybe even some extra linens, look at the size of that cabinet underneath here in the rear. This coach has really got all of the things that Newmar is so good packed into this 45-foot floor plan. Now again, this is that P4 126 Cascadia chassis, so a 30,000 pound towing capacity for this coach. I mean, just an absolute amazing level of Newmar, something we've really never seen in a Super C offered by this manufacturer before. For those of you that would be comparing this, you might look up against an XL, you might take a look at a Classic. These are all products that you can find at Transwest Truck Trailer RV. And if you're looking for comparison videos, TTT RV on YouTube has a ton of great videos by some really talented sales associates. Now, the lattice work that you see in this coach, I think is the perfect accompaniment for such a badass package. This kind of RV is designed not just to bring you luxury, but also, wait until you see the look of this. So this is an artisan package coach. This is one of one paint jobs. You'll never see this paint job again. It's being offered by Newmar as an option. As you come in, you get to open up this book, choose your paint scheme, choose your colors, and have it built custom for you. But it really ties into all of the fantastic look that you have here. Now you'll notice our audio video cabinet here may or may not be of use. You've got your HDMI ports, cables, maybe you put a PlayStation 17 or whatever number they're on in there. Maybe not. Maybe you will just use Starlink on your 43-inch flat screen TV. If you're watching the Final Four and you want to download Fubo, you don't need a Fire Stick. You can just use that Starlink, and this TV will have everything that you need. But one of my favorite features of the London Aire floor plans is, of course, this cabinet space. Again, for people who are looking for a little privacy, that want to put some things away, maybe you want to keep things in your safe, you can do all of that back here. And no one would know the better unless they knew your coach well. So keep all of your gold bullion, all your diamonds, all your gems right there. And then I love these small drawers for those of you that are traveling, just to keep your sunglasses, your wallet, any of those smaller items that you have. And then look at how big these deep pocket drawers are. Now keep in mind, as I mentioned earlier, this is that London Aire floor plan, so you still have all of that dovetailing that you've grown to expect in the luxury line of Newmar. You've also got power windows, window blinds and shades. And it's very nice to note that this is built on the London Aire crossover, so you've got opening windows. So these windows are opening not only on this side, but also on either side of our headboard. And I love this new chestnut wood. We have been looking for the right brown for a long time, and we finally have it in this coach. There's some outlets here underneath, and there's a cutaway so that you can put your cords out through the top and onto your nightstands on either side. This is a great place to keep all of your sultry novels. And underneath the bed, there's a ton of storage. So what I like to show you is under this bed, we used to have just little hints of carpet everywhere. Now what you'll find is we've gone to this really cool vinyl that you'll see underneath here, so there's no longer any carpet underneath this bed. And we've done this in our Ventana and our Baystar, so throughout our entire product line, just tune in and watch these videos that we've made for you here at the dealer show. But a great place to keep a CPAP machine. If you want to use it for extra storage, I've had clients that have actually pulled out little totes that had like hiking boots underneath there. But then all your underbed storage is right here. And you'll see that we do have the adjustable air mattress on this coach, as well as 22 inches of table extension and some extra chairs. Of course, that is because we have the most decadent seating in this RV. I've got to tell you, I just delivered a 45-foot Supreme Aire. On Monday, the day before the auto show started, or the dealer show started. And what a lovely coach. When you're working with a product like that, you have a hard time imagining it get any better, but they've done it with this RV. So you've got two 110 outlets, your grommets down here. I love these nice wooden lambrequins. They have this great tufting on the inside that's very, how should we say, neutral, so you can decorate this coach as you like. But Avon, come on around this way. Let me show you something that they've done that's really different. We've gone to an ATC touch panel, so no longer are we using Silverleaf. But what's so nice about this touch panel is not only can you operate everything in your coach, lights, vents, shades, your TV lift, your floor heat, all of these things, this ATC app is also available to you on your phone. And you're like, okay, Katie, well, we've had that for a long time. No, this year you can actually Wi-Fi in to that app, and you can check your temperature for your pets. So if you've got kitties, if you've got puppies, and you are on a nice hike and you wire into your coach, as long as you've got Wi-Fi, which of course we've got Starlink, you can actually check on the temperature of your coach, adjust that up or down, or know that it's just time to come home depending on what's going on. So really cool feature there. Not to mention that you can check tank levels and the like. Now this is a bath and a half model. So this is going to be the 4505. And the 4505 is very much like the 4530 of the past. This is definitely an entertainer's coach. This really lovely bathroom is there for your guests, but you are still offered all of the privacy in the rear bath, with this being a bath and a half. And take a look at the entertainment space that you have up here. So as you can see, a very generous kitchen with a ton of counter space, great storage throughout. I love the placement of this drawer. We've had some weird drawers in Newmars in the past, but that is just a great place to have your scrubbies, and then of course all of your towels and your, whatever you're using in your kitchen, maybe your heat pads. Again, your scrubby drawer here is right underneath this gigantic undermount black basin sink. So I think it's ironic that it's called Blanco. because it's definitely Negro. Speaking of Negro, love all of the door handles on this coach. And again, just tons and tons of storage in this 4505 floor plan. Now, if for people that have been looking for a coach that's got, great living space, it's always important to note that you've got outlets over here on the right so that you can plug in your coffee maker or your toaster oven, and then you have another set of outlets over here, so if you're going to put it over behind the stove, you could also do that very easily. And then above your cooking area, lots of deep storage for those of us that have olive oils and balsamics that we're using, and then plenty of room up top for all of your spices. Now, down below our Bose sound bar, of course, we have our televator with our 50-inch TV. We have all of our cabinet space up above to keep board games and all of the like. Again, an audio video cabinet that may or may not be necessary for you. Of course, you can always plug in, those video game consoles or a Blu-ray player if that's your preference. But lots and lots of extra storage. And then what's really nice about this coach is moving forward from 2026, we've got two 110 outlets here, but this outlet port has both two 110s, a Type-C, and a USB. So you've got these charging ports that are now caught up with what is the newer technology for people's telematics. Some deep storage over here. Just go through and open these for you. A great place to keep, again, if you had board games, Monopoly, maybe you've got your placemats, serving trays, whatever it is that you'd like to keep above there. And then the whole way down, they're all carpet lined. This is the first place where there's a divide, so you could actually put longer things in these cabinets above. But what a great place to be able to keep coffee mugs, glasses, stemware, all the cups that you need. And again, this is one of my favorite features of the London Aire. I love the fact that they've given you this nice soft fabric mixed in with what is full leather in this kitchen and throughout the coach for that matter. It's not just in the kitchen. So this is the Camino tweed interior. And as I mentioned earlier, I did this in a London Aire. I tried to pull the table out, so I'm not going to do that. But if you could imagine an extra 22 inches of space, that's a whole lot of extra space in this dinette area. So it's so nice to be able to have a booth and to have enough room for 4 people. This is a great space. There's actually some extra storage here underneath. If you haven't gotten them yet, Pimpernel placemats or cork placemats. They're nice and strong. They're more sturdy than a typical placemat. That's a great place to be able to store them. Another attribute of this coach that I really enjoy is the fact that we have on this coach, we have a buffet where you can keep your your salsa, you can keep your salt and pepper, your napkin stand. Maybe you wouldn't have, as Kim has here, such a large flower bouquet. But everything, as I mentioned, with that nice buffet, gives you the ability to keep out the things that you're using for your day-to-day eating. Of course, we have our traditional Newmar clock. We have our storage underneath. This is a great place to keep your tableware. I love to keep my plates underneath my booth when I've got the kids setting the table. It's very easy for them to go underneath while I'm cooking in the kitchen. And again, this is an entertainer's coach. So when I say that, look at all of the storage you have here. So great pantry storage, right? This is the same size that I have in my Superstar. What I don't have is a great place to keep my pots and pans, my frying pan, my quart pot. All of those would fit sideways underneath here, giving me so much more room. And then on top of it, you have this extra space over here where if you wanted to keep, for instance, your umbrellas, any of your things that you're using for when you're stopping along the way, maybe dog leashes, dog food, all of those things in this extra cabinet space. Again, this is an entertainer's coach. And on that note, when an entertainer is entertaining, you always need to have an easy way to clean up after your company. So you've got this kick plate, and you'll notice that this entire full wall slide is, of course, all tile. This is something that is differentiating for Newmar versus other manufacturers in the Super C segment. We do not have carpet in this coach. This Moore floor is available to you because of the fact that we partner with a company called HWH. HWH makes a hydraulic leveling slide for us. So the slide actually comes up and in or out and down. So in eliminating that drop into a pocket that we'll have with a typical slide, what Newmar's able to do is give you a full tile slide. No carpet in this coach, which makes for a huge differentiation when you just need to clean up after a long day, especially camping. We know how you get all of those little things that you're tracking in. Just sweep it right over here into the kick plate. Now over here you'll see a rather large vent. That is because this is an all-electric coach. We do have not only hydronic heat on this coach, we also have that same Oasis system powering our tankless hot water heater. So you've got unlimited hot water, you've got unlimited heat. This hydronic heating system can be run without a generator running off of your boiler system. So what it's going to do is heat 2 tubes of liquid that pass underneath your coach. It's called a dual loop Chinook system. Those 2 tubes of liquid pass underneath the coach with warm air pushing into the coach, heating this coach, as well as you've got heated floors. And then on top of it, you've got 3 15,000 BTU air conditioners with heat pumps. So a great number of ways to be able to heat and keep this coach nice and warm when you're trying to get a little bit further off grid. This would be a great coach to take up to, Canada, to Alaska. This is the kind of RV that you need if you want to get off the beaten path and really out there into nature in a first-class experience. Now down here below, you'll see that when we get into the London Aire level, we have a little nicer level of slide outs. Of course, this is just making it easier to get to your cleaning supplies underneath. And then over here on the left, Avon, I don't know if you can catch that, but there's a place to stow your sink covers, which I think is really brilliant. They're carpet lined, they're all the way down in the back, so you can slide those covers underneath and not worry about having them out all over the counter. You don't have to worry about them scratching. You can just slide them nice and tuck them in underneath there. Another great feature of this coach is look at the size of these drawers. For anyone who's ever tried to bring measuring cups, scissors, spatulas, tongs, barbecue utensils, you know how important it is to have a place to keep everything. You can keep everything in this coach nice and neat. There's also a fantastic silverware drawer. As I mentioned earlier, you have your air mattress that you can change the sides. You also have these little lock and unlock fobs. And one of the nicest features of this coach is going to be that we have the same push button release that you'll find on the Essex and the King Air. So this coach is at the highest level for Newmar in the Super C segment. There's nothing above this new Summit Aire. Now you'll see here one of my favorite features of the London Aire, and actually, to be honest with you, that I like more than the Essex, is this cooktop because it's removable still. So if you're like me, I have a 2022 Superstar. I am always out on the road and camping in places where, we're sitting outside having breakfast, we're cooking bacon, we're making eggs. Even at last year's Newmar Country Club event, when I went to the International Rally, we ate all of our breakfast outside of our coach. It's just a really nice thing to be able to do. So this true induction is great, not only because you could boil a pot of water on this top without worrying about a paper towel catching on fire. So you could put a paper towel underneath and boil a pot of water. It would not ignite. So that's a great safety feature for the inside. But on the outside, the thing that you've got to think about is the fact that if you're boiling water outside and it's a little bit breezy, what happens with that Coleman grill? It's hard, right? Sometimes it's even hard to get your barbecue to stay lit because it's a little gusty. This is, of course, going to be providing you that same level of consistent heat at 14,000 feet as it does at sea level. So the true induction cooktop being removable is fantastic. Of course, Newmar's always got these great inlays for their cutting board. And as I mentioned earlier, some nice features. This Whirlpool is all new. Please note that it has not only microwave and convection, we also have an air fry setting. So this is the new microwave and convection oven you'll see for 2026 throughout the product line. I love that it's got this little box. I don't know if you've ever tried to heat French fries up a second time, but when you have an air fryer like this, it makes reheating food so much easier, and you can bring your tater tots and your French fries and have a healthy way to get everything cooked. So in this setup, you'll see we have our trifold sofa. So this is a full-size bed, and it's opposed to our theater seats. Now these theater seats are new for this year. not just because this is a brand new model, but they are also new because we've added this great feature. They've added a really nice system here where you can actually put your wine glass down as well as your coffee, your tumbler or coffee mug. So this flat surface allows you to have salsa, chips, a glass of wine, any of those things. In fact, last night when I was leaving, Casey was giving a tour to one of the dealership owners in Essex, and he came in and he had a glass of wine and he put it down, and I said, you know, how nice is that? Because historically in these theater seats you couldn't put anything down on the center divide because it had all of this great storage that you have here underneath. Again, this is, you know, if you want to put 3 or 4, you know, throws for blankets here, maybe even the stuff that you're going to keep for your guests that are staying with you, that it can fit there. You can put all of your remotes on top, so you're still getting all of that space, but now you're getting these theater seats as well as a place where you've got a table. So they've really, you know, that was a big recommendation that we had at the roundtable events for Super Cs, was that we needed to have a place to put things down. Look at these theater seats. Maybe, Avin, I was out late last night. Maybe we could just stay here and take a nap. Avin's like, no, Katie, we have way too many videos to shoot. I think we're going to be doing 17 videos at this show. Justin and Dean are here with me. We have really put some hours in. So if you haven't seen all of them, again, TTTRV at YouTube will bring you some of the information that you'll want about this coach and others. But you'll notice here, there's this big black rainbow. So this is something you cannot find in any other manufactured product. This is an Aire ride cab on a Cascadia chassis. So keep in mind, Transwest, before they are an RV company, is a semi-truck company. Branch 1 sells really big stuff. We make all sorts of things at Summit. But one of the things that we really emphasized to Newmar was that in these P4 Cascadia chassis, these have a great drive going down the road. This is going to be enhanced even more so by allowing this flexibility. So if you think about it this way, it's kind of like your neck being able to wobble on top of your head. As this house behind you is hitting those bumps and turns, this Aire ride cab is staying level and flat. And keep in mind, this is not a medium duty semi. This is a full active semi. This coach is really rocking everything that you would ever have for all of those big guys that you see with those, you know, two trailer FedEx trucks. That's what you're driving in this coach. And one of the reasons that this P4 Cascadia has been so popular isn't just because of this, you know, beautiful cab layout, but when you come in here and you sit down, you'll see how ergonomic this is. This full setup here is so nice. And so instead of using Nav and Go, we're going to have Daimler's version of navigation here. You've got individual settings for different profiles. You can very easily, for instance, touch, you know, for instance, like this little button here, and get to your phone, get to your music. You're going to find that you can see your tire pressure, not only tire pressure, but also the temperature of your tires going down the road. Another great feature of this is that with this coach, you have this really nice touch interface that you'll find comes from, of course, Daimler, which is a Mercedes-Benz product. So on the left-hand side, you can control your entire driver's view, and then on the right hand side you can control your navigation view with this toggle. Also, you'll note that you have a 3 level engine brake, and it's all on a stock control, which is fantastic, super easy to use. You've got hot and cold with your climate control here, but on top of that, you'll notice that because this is a twin screw, so in other words, this has 8 wheels in the back and 2 in the front, so 10 total. You've got 3 locking different positions, so you can basically turn this rear axle into, or the 2 rear axles into a 4x4. So if you're going to go to places where it might be gritty, maybe you're down in Baja and there's lots of sand, maybe you're snowboarding and you're buying one of these fantastic, Logan trailers that we carry at Transwest for your snowmobiles, you can take this up and be able to get out of Hawk when you're in snowy or slippery conditions. Also note that you have an input for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And on top of that, we finally have a dedicated rear view monitor for people going down the road. So as you're driving, instead of wondering whether or not Johnny Law is hot on your tail behind you, you can actually see behind you very easily in this dedicated rear view monitor. This is something we've been asking for our Super Cs for a long, long time. And then on top of it, these seats also rotate and fit into this cab. So in some of the other models, because the cab is a little bit smaller, you can't really get that pivot and turn around, where you can actually fully use these chairs to join the company that you are keeping. And then above here, in true Super C fashion, you have all of this extra storage. And then on top of it, you also have our sky window, which is of course a signature of our Super C product. So going down the road, you've got this nice light coming in, but even more importantly, when you're stopped and you're camping, you've got this really nice daylight giving you a great glow inside of the cab. We of course still have our curb monitor over here on the right hand side, as well as our big mirrors. These are of course part of that Cascadia chassis. Power windows, heated mirrors, also heated and ventilated front seats. Again, this is the creme de la creme. This is the top of the line product offered by Newmar in the Super C segment. And to accompany that, they have some really cool features. So this is an artisan example. If you were to come in and order a coach from me and choose this artisan example, you could choose this King Aire paint job. This is $100,000. And then you would be able to choose whichever colors you wanted to have entered into this paint job. This schematic would then be applied to your coach. I was talking to Casey last night. It takes them up to 12 days just to tape the lines for the graphics, just for one layer. This is a very, very involved, very high line process. Keep in mind, we do all of our cut and buff. We have our very seamless, fantastic paint shop. But on top of that, after you have this artisan package, you will never see that King Aire package ever again. So these artisan packages are available at the King Aire and the Summit Aire, and then $60,000 to $70,000 if you'd like to have an Essex or a London Aire painted for you. So any of the 45-foot coaches that we have in the Highline can have these really unique and special paint jobs. And of course, if you order a Renegade, I think, entry level to modify paint is about 30 grand. So these aren't far out of whack. As soon as you start getting into those customizations, we've never been able to offer anything except for change the colors through Newmar. I mean, I've got 6 coaches that will be here before the end of April this year that are all special orders. Not a single one has standard paint on it, but they all have to fit within kind of the paint by number segment. With this artisan package, you can really get something that's very unique and personal to you. And of course, we know that with these Super Cs, people are keeping these coaches for 30 years. So this is a really big opportunity. Now, before we go outside, I want to just point out some nice features that you'll see here above. One of them, of course, is going to be that you got your Girard awnings. These are the dual awnings with that folding arm. And then you've got your Razor antenna as well. Again, we talked a little bit about that HWH hydraulic leveling system for the slide. It's also going to be what you use for your jacks. You've got your slide controls here. You've got your window shades, so you've got awning covers above your windows as well as your larger awnings. You've got your Wi-Fi router, of course, is going to be Starlink. Lock and unlock for all of these drawers. And then more importantly, if you do have, I don't know if you would have Fido in here, you might have Spike. I think Spike would be more of a less fluffy name for a Super C. But let's say you got Spike and you don't want him to fall down into the window well or the stairwell. You've got that covered right there. And then on top of it, you have this little blue button. This is going to be a reset button for the fact that this coach has 960 amp hours of lithium on board. So the lithium package that's standard is going to be a 640. This has got 960, so it's got that extra battery. And what that does is we've got an inverter system that allows you to run your air conditioning not only while you're going down the road, but let's say you're doing what you people do in these coaches. Let's say you're down in Baja, you're dune bugging, you got the kids out there, and you're spending the night off grid. You can run your air conditioner on this coach without being plugged into any kind of battery support, and you can also do that without having your generator running. Now, of course, this does have that big dog generator, that 12.5 kilowatt quiet diesel generator. You've got an all lights off and on switch right here at the door, which is new for 2026 across the product line. What a great idea. And then here's that Artisan Series badge that comes with this coach. So again, this is one of one. You'll never see this coach again. And so as you can see, we still have our keypad that you can lock and unlock your doors with, the light that shows you where the door handle is. Of course, we've got our 360 camera. You've got all of your docking lights, but Avin, go ahead and take a step back. Take a look at this paint job. So I know that we do a fantastic job with paint, but I've never seen anything like this. When I walked into the show yesterday, I was absolutely floored when I saw the Summit Aire. Now again, we talked a little bit about that twin screw. There you go. This is a big dog, 30,000 pound towing capacity. I think I've already said that twice, but just important to bring that out to you. And then another feature that you'll find in our coach line across the product line is this new interface with the motherboard. So as you can see, very easy to access, and then it slides into place, and then it just locks in right, oh, there we go, right there. So now it's nice and tied in. Of course, you can vacuum your husband, your dog, or your children from outside with our Road Vac package. And then as you can see here, you have pass-through storage all the way through underneath both sides of this coach. This is highly unusual for any Super C to have pass-through storage. But on top of that, Avin, let's just show this off. They've actually changed the cover, the color of these buttons to match the coach, so that instead of being blue, the push to release buttons are now red to match the coach. And then as you can see here, it'll vacuum suck in just like it does on your high-end BMW or your Audi. And then take a look at this. Oh, can I do it? Small but mighty, that's me. So we've got our great garage here, top shelf booze, all your mixers, or your tire shine, and what we use it for honestly is extension cords, things along those lines, things that we're using while we're out getting the camp set up. But you've got a nice deep table storage under here, so if you've got one of those tables that you might get from Costco, you can actually store a lot of things under here. If you're a hockey family, you could have hockey sticks, you could have fishing poles. And then of course this does come with the Glad hands. As you can see, we've got our Voyager camera system, our 7-pin connector, and then of course you've got your adjustable hitch. So this is going to work whether you're trailering a vehicle or you might be trailering something like this ATC trailer. So this ATC trailer is now available to you through Newmar. You could have that custom painted and matching whatever Super C or Class A you get. And of course, you could throw a rock ATC from Newmar. They're right next door to each other. So they literally will custom build a trailer for you and bring it over and have it painted to match your coach. So Avin, come on back and just take a look at the rear end of this coach. Of course, this is super important to talk about. This is your Cascadia chassis, once again, 600 horsepower, 1,850 foot-pounds of torque. This is just a badass Mamba Jamba. All of your integrated lights, of course, are going to be LED, so they'll still come on and off fast. And then underneath all of these doors, there's so much storage in this basement. And again, this is just such an unusual thing to be able to have in a Super C. So here's your 12.5 kilowatt quiet diesel generator. There is a buddy plug back here, just so you know, so if you do have a trailer that you're pulling, plenty of power there for you. And then you can see they continue this paint job all the way through the exterior of these slides, so even when you pull them out, the paint job matches the whole way through. And then here underneath, another feature of this coach, which is just fantastic, is the way that these doors are able to open even with the slides fully deployed. So as you can see, we've got the SaniCon system, we've got our fresh water is on a power reel, we've got hot and cold water, we have a whole house water filter, we also have a temperature display, you can start your generator from inside of this compartment, a gray water rinse, all of the things that make this coach better than everything else. And these MoRide doors are so stiff. So these MoRide doors are completely different than any door we've ever offered in the Super C lines. And this is not just in the Summit Aire, this is going to be across all of our product for all of our Super Cs. We're going to have this fabulous new door system. Look at how nicely that just suctions closed. So easy. And then here in the front, We've got our power cord on a power reel, as well as a surge protector. And then right there in that left compartment is a great place to keep some of your Oasis fluid. Want to always make sure you have that. If you mention that you've watched this video before you come in and buy an RV from me, I'll always make sure you have a gallon of that on hand. Of course, it's very hard to have it delivered to you in the middle of the forest. But here's the coup d'etat. So this year we have really stepped it up a notch. Renegade's been doing this for a while. We've got these great inverters. This inverter system is designed to speak very well with our Lithionics battery pack. And of course, as you can see, we even have fans over here on the door to make sure that this compartment stays nice and cool. But this second inverter is the inverter that's allowing you to actually run your air conditioner while you're going down the road without having your generator on, or allowing you to run your air conditioner overnight while you're camping out in the desert where it might be a little bit warmer than usual. Now let's get in here in the front. Only a few doors that open up. This is the back end of your tank, and then you're going to see you don't have saddle tanks on these coaches. You're going to have a single fill tank. Here's your extra storage compartment. And then here is your big 120-gallon tank, and that's of course where you're going to keep your Oasis juice as well. You want to make sure that's above the cool line. That's an overflow tank, but if it's empty, guess what? No heat. So that's a big deal. Now I know we talked about the fact that you've got your 360 overhead camera. This is your turn signal camera, but one of the big improvements I think that they've made in the Super C line this year is right here at the door. So I'm a really big fan of these step covers. So historically we've had kind of like a grip tape. This is a much more abrasive, grippy surface. Of course you've got your fill for your DEF right here, and also for your fuel. But this is a really nice surface to get in and out of. We do have our engine block heater. Again, heated and cooled seats. Pneumatic air for your lumbar support, and air ride, and then of course an adjustable telescopic steering column as well. But again, this Cascadia P4 chassis is really second to none. There's not a better made RV out there for you if you're looking for something that's going to give you 30,000 pounds of towing capacity. Now keep in mind, these really great high definition xenon lights are going to be auto dimming. Again, you are going to have what's called the Detroit Assurance Package on this coach. The Detroit Insurance Package is something that's integrated by the manufacturer of the chassis into the coach itself. So this is not something that's been added aftermarket. This is a part of your Detroit Assurance Package, part of your Freightliner chassis, part of the Daimler family. So these are all designed to work in tandem with each other. And then, as I mentioned earlier, big improvement here in the steps to get in and out, but also you have, there's your glad hands. You have, again, your hydraulic leveling system, your Oasis dual loop Chinook, giving you better ability to keep things, nice and warm inside of your coach. And then standard, you're going to have things like your outdoor TV, your sound bar. You've got your refrigerator on a slide, so this is a very nice way for you not to have to carry ice. And it has a 12-volt plug here, so if you've got paddle boards or anything that you want to plug your pump into, you're able to do that in this coach. So as I mentioned earlier, coming into the show, you never know how Newmar is going to make what they've already made right even better. But they've done it this year with a new Summit Aire. My name is Katie O'Neill. I'm coming to you live from Transwest Truck Trailer RV. I'm so excited to welcome you to our new 2026 Summit Aire. Let me know how I can get you out on the road and camping.